Okay, so here we are on the Bitcoin chart and we're on the daily time frame. And really there's only a couple things that I want to show you guys before we have Casi zoom into the subwaves here. And that is this candle right here that you can barely see, but it is holding support right at this fib, this 236 support at 62.3. So this was a critical level for Bitcoin to hold, and it looks like it is trying to hold it. And the RSI is on top of the MA, and it's come down and it's resting on top of the MA, acting as support. So it looks like it broke out and came down and tested again, and it still is holding that level. So this is a good sign that we should be holding this level here as support and should start to continue, hopefully, to build back up again. And like I said, we really need to break up above this 0.5 fib here at 64.6 to really confirm that this is on a new trend. As long as we are under this levels, we should still expect new lows here at this 382 fib at 55.2. So that's something that we're going to be watching for closely this week, is either a break above this 0.5 here and then onto new highs, or a break below this 236 here down to this 382 at 552. This fib down here we have mentioned is the typical target for this entire correction. So the fact that Bitcoin might move on without touching that leaves a lot of uncertainty for traders. So it would be best for us to touch this before moving on, informing that bullish divergence on the RSI, which it doesn't have yet. But again, if we can hold this level here, then that would still be a good sign, because like we've mentioned before, all of the necessary waves have formed during this correction that need to form before we move on to a new trend. So let's just have Casi zoom in here and give you a closer look at what's going on.
Okay, so Bitcoin 1 hour here, it came right down to those support levels that we talked about yesterday. And you can see on the 1 hour, we are starting to build a bullish bottom with these lows. So what I'm just expecting it to do in the next few hours is continue to test these levels here. We still have that 61,600 area that it could test. But ultimately, I'm looking for it to hold this bullish trend on the RSI. So you can see that as the price is making new lows, it's getting exhausted and the RSI is not making new lows with the price. So that's a divergence there. So I'm tracking that on the 1 hour and just watching for this support touch here. You can see that we're really close to this blue trend line here, which is that channel that we broke out of. So I think that, like Tara mentioned, this could definitely turn to support here and we could be on to our new highs. With the low that it's made here, which is the perfect touch off a 382 retrace at 62,070. With that low, we're looking at 67,600, which is really close to that 68,000 larger resistance area and target that we could be seeing next. So if this does build support, that'll be the next large price area that I think we'll find resistance at. So I really want to watch the RSI as it approaches there. If it is really strong and it breaks these prices with a lot of strength, then I think we could see even up towards a new high, up towards 77,000 area. So that's in general what I'm looking at. And then like Tara mentioned, if we do start to break down these levels, we do still have that larger 382 at 55,000 that hasn't been tested yet. So these are the kind of prices that we're looking at here. But as we zoom in, it is looking like it is trying to hold these areas for right now. So I think we'll definitely get a decision on that within the next day, if we're going to be holding these or if we're going to probably come down to these lower prices. So
yeah. And Cass, I also wanted to call out that your 236 is a little bit lower on Bitstamp than on Binance. So guys, make sure that you are charting on the exchange that you do trade on so you can have the exact targets. So it looks like Bitcoin's price right now on Bitstamp is at 62.2. And so it has come down a little bit lower than that Binance fib, which I still think is okay. Like Cassie mentioned, we could get a quick wick down to that one fib there at 61.6, yeah. And then closing the day back above that support level would be a good sign, because the fib levels that I showed you are on the daily time frame. So there's a lot of price action that can happen within that daily candle, but still close and respect these main fib targets.
Yeah, but right now the RSI is hitting support. So it would have to be a really quick touch.
Yeah. And we know the 382 on this local retrace is a target for this correction.
Yep.
So, all right. So should we get over to Ethereum then?
Okay.
Okay, so here we are on Ethereum and we're on the daily time frame. And Casi and I were tracking this correction coming down here after it dropped below this main 382 here at 3115. We're expecting this to be a subwave 2, which does have a typical target at the 618. On Ethereum, on Binance, it's landing at around 2971, and it got to around 2978. So I still think that we do have a little bit more to come down before we hit that target. So that's kind of what we're watching for today and for the next few days on Ethereum, is it to form support at these wave 2 levels. So let's just have Casi zoom in here and give you a closer look at the subwaves and show you what we're expecting.
Okay, so here we are on the Ethereum 1 hour. And this is that ABC that we marked out in yesterday's update. I haven't touched it at all. And you can see that it's just nicely coming down on that C wave. And we are starting to build a little bit of a trend on the RSI. You can see that at first it was support, and with the C wave, we broke down that support, and now we are testing it again. And it's actually currently resistance. And like Tara mentioned, we haven't exactly come to the targets yet. So we really want to see it come to 29.70, which is really close, $30 under this. All the way down to 29.30 would still be okay. And we really want to see it build a bullish bottom. And I do think that you could technically consider this divergence because the price is making a new low as the RSI is not. But look how tight we are now in this range. Like Bitcoin, it's going to have to be a quick touch and bounce. Otherwise, it could break trend and get pretty bearish for a little bit. So it will have to, it does, like I said, it does look like it is starting to build a little bit of a bottom as it's coming to here, and the prices haven't touched yet. So that could change as the prices are met because it could force the RSI bearish. But right now it is trying to hold a bullish bottom. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the next few hours, is the touch on these supports and really watching the RSI here. Maybe tomorrow we'll get targets on the next wave up, because I think right now we definitely still need some support tests and really confirmation that it's not going to break more bearish. So
yeah,
I think that's what we're looking at on Ethereum.
Yeah. Okay, should we get over to XRP then?
Okay.
Oh, XRP. Okay, so here we are on XRP and we're on the daily time frame, and XRP has lost its support right at the bottom of the triangle. And if you've been watching our updates for a while, Casi and I have mentioned how critical it was for XRP to continue to hold this support here. So we broke above it and we lost the support and came down. Then we broke back into it and we just lost the support again. However, I don't think that this correction is going to go much lower because of this MA here where it's sitting right now. And then also the RSI is right on top of its MA as support. So this is showing us that this is a very critical level on XRP, which we say almost every single day. But it really is a critical level, because if this does break down with strength, it could start to turn bearish and come back down to these targets that we have down here at around 48 cents again. Or if it can hold this level and then get back up into the triangle, that's really what we want to see. So let's just have Casi zoom in here and give you a closer look at what's going on.
So here we are, XRP 1 hour. And like Tara mentioned, XRP did lose that support at that 53 cents. And we are currently testing the golden pocket, the 6.5 golden retrace at 52.3, currently testing that as resistance. So that's what we're looking at for XRP. But like Tara mentioned, I don't think that it is going to be too much longer in this correction. I think it's just kind of getting tossed around with Bitcoin. Our next largest support would be at that 50 cents. So 55 almost. So 50 cent 5. I don't know how to say that. So yeah, I mean, it's really unclear with how long it's been ranging at this point. And then now we are back under.
As long as we don't come down below that last low there at that 0.5, it still is considered to be on this new trend. You know, that 0.5 where it touched there is still our subwave 2. So as long as it doesn't break below that level, this is still on trend, even though we're not back into that triangle.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it's too much of a concern, but it's just hard to get kind of a short-term direction when there isn't any waves to go by.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, we have that next support at 50 cents. Otherwise, we're just technically right at support. Like if you zoom out, this is the golden pocket here. So but it does look like a little bit like it's trying to find that as resistance. So maybe we will come down to this 382 before coming back up. But like I said, the subwaves are so unclear that it's hard to get a short-term direction instead of just like the support, resistance, and RSI. So yeah. And then even the RSI, you could technically say is bullish, but it really isn't. It's just flat. So
yeah, it's a little unclear.
So it's not bearish, but it's not bullish.
Yeah. So we'll probably be back tomorrow with a more clear, I guess, update on XRP, because we do need hopefully a little bit more development in order to know
we don't control what the markets do. We just tell them what it's doing, right?
Yeah, we're just the messengers.
Yeah.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
All right. Is that it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep. I still think these are just critical levels, and we're just going to continue to hold these supports until we get our nice break. So
yeah.